What the heck is Formula One?
Pole position, strategy,
yachts and parties,
safety car, Ferrari.
beautiful corners.
Oh, right, okay. There's a car in front of you. Try and overtake it.
Oh, I hate you so much.
Me, how you fools. See, Skin, I told you last week I had something fun for this season. I'm going to intro every pod by saying hello in the language of the race where we're at.
Right.
Bang.
Okay.
China, ni hao.
Wonderful. Well
Yes.
done. That's a much better joke than I thought it was. Well
Yeah.
done, Dave.
Thank you, Skin. Thank you, Skin. So next week, not next week, the week after, get ready.
Yep. Okay.
Because I don't know how I'm going to drag out Konnichiwa.
Okay.
We'll figure it out, though. We'll figure it out. ChatGPT might help. Welcome back to the latest Formula Fools podcast. My name is David, and with me, as always, the the mustachioed man himself, Skin.
Hello. Mustachios.
Yeah.
Is that like,
Don't know, just came out with it.
right? Got anything to do with pistachios or?
Could be.
Okay.
I don't know. My brain is working on a different level today, Skin.
I've noticed.
Spelling has not been my strong suit. Neither has words
Okay.
or rules of office cricket.
No, that's fine.
Yeah. We're moving in a forward direction.
Please.
Yeah. Welcome back to the podcast where we discuss Formula One races. We chat about our very unbiased opinions, and we give you our thoughts on what is happening race by race, as well as trying to educate you and generally teach you more about the sport that we love.
For sure.
Certainly I love.
Certainly trying to teach me a little bit more about it. That's kind of the point of the show is I don't really know a heap about F1. Certainly didn't before I met Dave.
Oh yeah.
And I get to just sit here and pick his brain and hopefully we all learn a few things along the way. So
Yeah. We'll see.
should we start doing that?
We may as well.
What can you tell me about the 2026 Chinese Grand Prix disc?
Well, I can tell you a lot, but first we're going to listen to the Hot Lap recap with Ryan Smith.
Oh, yes.
Obviously, Skin, you forgot about that one. Don't ever forget about that one.
My bad.
So what is the Hot Lap recap for new listeners? If it's your first time here, then my good mate Ryan Smith sends us in a little recap of the weekend. He'll tell you the whats and the hows of what went down at the weekend. I don't know. My brain's working weird today. He fills you in on what happened at the weekend and gives you a rundown of what you have missed if you can't remember or if you just didn't watch the race. He also has a jingle.
The race is over. It's that time in the show for the hot lap recap. Let's go, 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 go.
Welcome back to the Hot Lap Recap, and this week Formula One rolled into Shanghai for a sprint weekend because apparently one race per country wasn't generating quite enough viral yo-yo battery overtakes for the Liberty Media YouTube channel. Let's start with the headline. It's Kimi Antonelli, 19 years of age. Whoa, what can only be described by him as a flawless Grand Prix weekend, bar a lock-up right at the death, pole position on Saturday, victory on Sunday, and barely a hair out of place throughout. All very nice. He became the second youngest Grand Prix winner in history, behind only our very own Max Verstappen, who in 2016 won at the Spanish GP. Now, post-race, Antonelli, he fought back tears, didn't he? And he struggled to find the words to explain how he felt. Come on, 19 years old, winning in China, crying on international television. Fella, I felt it right there. Meanwhile, some of us are still crying about what they've actually done to the racing. More on that in a short while. Now, George Russell, he crossed the line in second, which sounds comfortable until you learn it came after a safety car kind of unraveled his race a little bit. He spent 14 laps stuck in a Ferrari sandwich, but he does still lead the championship by 4 points from his teenager teammate. Now, on to the Ferraris. Now, if you enjoy watching two colleagues play hot potato with each other, then the Hamilton-Leclerc battle was the television event of the year. Yes, over 15 odd laps. They swapped positions more times than my opinion on the new regulations, and I have changed my mind on them quite a lot. They went side by side through the corners. They attacked each other down the straights. And at one point, Leclerc even came on the radio quite cheerfully to say, actually, that's been jolly good fun, but in a French accent. Even Lewis enjoyed his return to the podium. And Dave, I want you to sit with that just for a moment. Lewis Hamilton enjoying himself in a Ferrari in China. The universe is testing you, mate. It really is. Now, Leclerc, he eventually had to settle for fourth. And Ferrari's strategy, how was it this week? It was fine, actually, wasn't it? Which makes a nice change. And Oliver Behrman, he took a solid fifth for Haas, a quiet reminder that the British Academy is still very much in business. Pierre Gasly, he came 6th, Liam Lawson 7th, and Carlos Sainz came 9th for Williams. Now, Dave, again, you're going to want to frame that moment because I think they probably only got the points because 7 cars failed to finish. 4 of them failed to start. And now on to the retirements because there were quite a few of them, weren't there? And some were more alarming than others. Now, McLaren, both cars gone before the formation lap had even ended. Lando Norris, reigning world champion, in case anyone needed reminding, was eliminated by an electrical fault before he even made it to the grid. Oscar Piastri, who will remember the start of this season for all of the wrong reasons, this time had his car wheeled away with a different electrical fault. Stroll retired as well for an electrical fault. You see the pattern that is happening here. Alex Albon in the other Williams also didn't start, but that was due to a hydraulics issue after changing the gearbox overnight. And Verstappen retired with 10 laps remaining while running in the points due to an energy recovery system fault. Electrical. And Fernando Alonso, well, Fernando Alonso's retirement is actually less funny and more quietly terrifying, actually. Television cameras actually caught the moment where Alonso physically had to remove his hands from the steering wheel mid-straight to shake them out and relieve his hands from the vibration. And did you also catch him sarcastically waving to the Cadillac as it overtook him as well? He retired with 23 laps to go purely because of the vibrations. The bosses say that they'll assess after 3 races before tweaking the rules. Now, we've had 2. Japan at Suzuka is next, a high-speed, unforgiving circuit where mechanical integrity matters enormously. And given that we've had vibrations causing nerve damage, we've had cars failing to start, and enough energy harvesting confusion to power a small town, Suzuka should be illuminating at least. And after that, we now have a month-long break. The Middle East rounds have been cancelled, which gives everyone time to reflect, recover, and in Alonso's case, presumably check that his hands are still working. That's the Hot Lap Recap. I'm Ryan, and I'll see you next time in Japan.
Go little Ryan.
Very good.
Very good. I did forget about the Fernando Alonso shaking of the hands and then waving at the Cadillac. You see this?
No.
The clip of him shaking his hands is quite scary to see because he literally has to take his hands off and he's trying to hold the steering wheel with his middle fingers because, because it's hurting him that much. And then when he got out of the car, he said that his hands and feet, he started to lose feeling in both hands and feet.
Right.
So just had to retire the car.
Right.
Yeah.
Do we understand what's causing that? Obviously, so they haven't worked out how to build a car in the new regulations, but why would it be vibrating so much? That seems like a weird problem to have.
It seems like a mounting issue, which could be engine mounts onto the chassis or something like that. Obviously, the engine is very close to the back of the driver, so if it is a mounting issue and the engine is vibrating a lot, and then there's not enough shock being absorbed by the chassis or before it hits the chassis. It could be something there, but I don't truly know the reason. I'm just guessing at this point. But it's either way, it's not good. And it's definitely something they'll need to try and fix soon.
Yeah. Okay. And on that, so we've got a month break now before the next race because a couple of races in the Middle East have been cancelled.
Yep.
Are they going to be allowed to work on the cars in that month?
Yeah. There's no there's no restrictions. It's just obviously, politically and war-y. There are things happening in the world that is outside of F1's control. So yeah, it won't affect any of it's not like when COVID happened, they kind of put a pause on all racing and all development of cars. This is a different kind of thing. The season will still go on. And so development can still go on.
Okay.
So hopefully
they could have it fixed before the next race.
Fingers crossed. Yeah.
All right.
Well, not the next one as I've listened to this pod, but the next one after that one. Because the next one after this is Suzuka in 2 weeks.
Oh, sorry.
And then there's a month-long break.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Which is going to be very sad. We're going to have kind of a little Easter break in F1, which is very weird. We've waited all summer for this, and then we've got 4.5 weeks of just no cars on track, which I'm sad about. Do you know who isn't sad today?
Yes, I do. I assume you're going to say Kimi Antonelli.
That is exactly what I'm saying, Skin. We're segueing back on track to where we started our document today. Kimi Antonelli has become the youngest ever pole sitter in our sports history. Previously was Sebastian Vettel. Sebastian Vettel held this in 2008. He held it for 18 years, this record, before Kimi came along this weekend and broke it, which is quite unbelievable.
Yeah, okay.
Nice, skin's shocked. He also became the first ever. It was his first ever race win. I mean, he's the second youngest race winner in history. Max Verstappen has beated him. Go disc. Oh yeah, that's right up there with Ferrari and Verstappen.
Yeah.
There we go,
Yeah,
beated. So Max Verstappen is the youngest, and Kimi's slots into second. But Kimi also becomes the youngest ever Grand Slam recipient. A Grand Slam is pole, win, and fastest lap over a race weekend. So he's the youngest ever person to do that.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good on him.
Yeah, well done.
Is there
Kimi.
something different for the name of had he also won the sprint and sprint qualifying and stuff? Is that?
Well, yeah, with sprints being quite new, I don't think they've come up with a name for that one yet.
Man.
I don't know if anyone's. I'm going to assume Max has probably done it. He's won the most sprints and had a dominant era during this rise of sprint races, but
Yeah.
I don't know if anyone's actually done that. There used to be a thing when Lewis was dominating in like from 14 through to 18, 2014 through to 2018. Lewis would top every practice session, qualifying, and then win. Like all the like Q1, 2, 3, and then win the race as well. So like there was that. I can't remember what they called it, but yeah, there was that kind of thing. But I don't know if there is one with the sprint. I'm assuming there would be.
Sure.
But Kimi didn't get that
Nah.
because he didn't have the best sprint race.
No, he had a horrendous start, didn't he?
Yeah, had a bad start.
And then crashed into someone and gave away a penalty.
Yeah, like it was a bit of a sloppy race from him, but I think it was a race where I think it came at a perfect time in his season because to lose out on, even if he didn't finish in the points, he only lost out on a potential 7 points with him starting P2, let's just say. Like, it's not a shit ton of points to lose out on. It's fine. The lessons I think he learned from that, obviously we saw him come back even stronger a few hours later in the qualifying, and then again the next day in the race. So I think he would have taken that one as like lesson learned, just like he did, in the free practice crash that he had in Australia the week before. Like, I think everything we're seeing with Kimi this year is every time he makes a mistake, he's bouncing back better because he's learning from their mistakes really fucking quick at the moment. So yeah, he's a weapon.
Yeah, I know, that's exciting. What do you think that means for the season? Obviously, like we've seen 2 races, so it's super early to be making predictions about this. But you love doing that, Disc, so I'm going to ask you anyway.
Yeah.
What do you reckon is going to happen this season? Because on one hand, you've got Mercedes have this stupidly fast car, and people are already like throwing out concerns about if Mercedes are going to do this again, then in a few years' time, we're going to have to talk about George as one of the greats of all time. And stuff.
Yeah, true.
He just goes and does what Max has been doing recently.
Yeah.
So people are concerned about that. But then on the other hand, they're 2 races in and Kimi's already beaten him once. They're only 4 points apart in the championship. Like George might not even win this season.
Yeah. Who knows? Like if Kimi continues his progression of learning at the rate that he is at the moment, then yeah, certainly towards the end of the season, we could see him beating George. Personally, I think George would have him covered over a season. I think George, we're also, as much as we're seeing Kimi do really good, with his progression and with every race that every session he steps into, we're also seeing George perform at his absolute peak. Like George has never been this good of a driver. He looks like the solid package. Even in the sprint race when Charles and Lewis were putting him under pressure and he didn't have Kimi there to help him out because Kimi had a shocking start, he was just cool, calm, collected, just like, really nice over the radio, looked after his tires. Like he just seems to be in a different level this year. Whether that's because he knows he's got a good car and so it's allowing him to be in this mindset, or whether he's just found something over the winter break / summer break for us Australians, where he can just get into a different zone during the racing. And yeah, I think over a season, George would have him beat.
All right.
But I don't think George or Kimi are going to win this championship, is going to be my crazy prediction. We have the engine rule change coming up for the Mercedes power units in June, I think, which is going to affect performance in some way or another, whether it changes it dramatically or whether it just slightly changes it. I think if you look at how close Ferrari were across both the sprint and the Grand Prix, I think Ferrari are going to have a more consistent race car this year because there's no rule changes are going to affect their race car. And I think Mercedes could have a downgrade of performance when they have to change, when they're forced to change their engine. So I think if Ferrari can just keep finishing in the top 4 for these first like 3-4 months, I think the back end of this season, we're going to see them win a heap. And I think they could then, we're going to see the championship spin on its head.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now that's a call.
That's a call.
All right.
That's also Ferrari is just doing shit this season. Ferrari are like doing stuff. Like with their, yeah, shit was the wrong word to use there. But they're like doing stuff with their aerodynamics, like that rear wing, which they've still not fucking used in a proper session. They've done it in a free practice, but not in a qualifying or race or anything. That, like the little fucking nose thing they put on the halo in free practice as well. Like they're teasing us with all these like cool little aerodynamic things that they're still not using. So I think when they do use them, or when they've got enough data to prove that this works and is good, if they are good, fuck, they could really have something else in the medium speed and high speed corners.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I do, but like you're being pretty hopeful.
Oh yeah, and I'm being hopeful towards Ferrari.
If these things that they're testing end up being good, then they're going to be good.
Yeah, but it's like you know, if we see something in preseason testing, and we're like, oh wow, that's new. We've not seen this before, and then we don't ever see it again. Then we're like, okay, yeah, they tested it and it was shit. But if you see it then in a free practice session, it's because maybe that track for preseason testing isn't what they were targeting, but they just needed data on it. Maybe China wasn't the track that they were targeting, but they just wanted more data on it. Maybe Japan's the track. Got a lot of medium and high speed corners around Japan. Maybe that's the track where they're going to go for it. Like we could see that on the car in 2 weeks. They've gathered all this data. Like they wouldn't bring it to China and test it in free practice if they weren't thinking about using it this season or had enough data to say, this is going to be a good piece of equipment.
Gotcha.
And I think China's the prime track for it. Got the center S's, got 130R. There's a lot of fast corners on this track.
What track?
Suzuka.
Right.
Did I say China?
Yeah, you said
I meant Japan. Suzuka.
Gotcha.
Go disc.
All right. Exciting.
Yeah. So I reckon they could have it over the year. But looking at their drivers individually, Charles had a very good weekend in terms of like he got P2 in the sprint, P4 in the race. It's a very good weekend. But I can't help but feel like he's going to walk out of the weekend a little bit like down and not happy with his results. Because although Charles looked good, the headlines are that Lewis has returned.
Yes.
And like he's back.
Yes. That's literally what I wrote in our document.
I wrote it as well.
Is Lewis back? Like what?
Okay, so you wrote, is Lewis back?
Yeah.
I wrote, he's back.
Okay.
Was my first line.
Well, that's the end of that conversation.
Yeah. I think he's back. Like he looks fast. He looks like he knows this car. He looks like he's comfortable in this car. And it looks like these regulations really suit him. Like a couple of things I noted down was, and two things I'm noticing from these first two races and the sprint as well is Lewis's battery management, even when he's attacking, is better than George's. It's better than Kimi's. It's better than Charles's. Lewis raced in an era where we had KERS on the car. And if you listen to our 2026 regulation episode we released last July, August, I think it was, KERS used to be basically what the boost button is now. So what we have now with the boost, we used to have it with KERS. It was a lot smaller deployment. It was a lot smaller of a battery pack. But managing your KERS and managing that battery pack like you have to manage your boost now is a very similar concept. And so Lewis has experience with racing like this and with management of not only tires, your brake temperatures, your engine temperatures, things like that, but also an electrical system like this. So I think early stages of the season, we're seeing Lewis's experience and knowledge really come into play. Mm-hmm. So I think there's something like that. And also just having the experience across multiple eras of regulations. Like he raced in the V8s, won in the V8s, racing the first turbo hybrids, won in that, racing the ground effect era, won in that. Like we've seen him adapt to different regulations very quickly. And I think this is just another iteration of that for him. You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying. So to put 2 and 2 together, you think neither Mercedes driver is going to win the championship and Lewis is back and the most experienced man in terms of changing regulations.
Yep.
So as the biggest Lewis hater of all time, are you predicting he's going to win?
Yep.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. It pains me to say it, but yeah, I reckon Lewis has got the chocolates this year.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well said.
Yeah. Thank you.
Wow. There we go. That's exciting.
Yeah. And this is the thing, right? I had someone DM me about this because they messaged me saying, like, do you reckon Lewis is back? And I was like, mate, not only do I reckon he's back, I reckon he could get the championship. And they said, coming from you, that means a lot more than coming from most people. So they were like, if you're saying that, then I'm starting to believe in Ferrari and believe in Lewis.
Wow. Okay. There we go. All right, that's exciting. More generally, Ferrari. So they Lewis is back. That's great. But watching them, Charles and Lewis race on the weekend, they were sort of neck and neck for whatever it was, at least 15 laps or something, just constantly back and forth overtaking each other, which is pretty much what we saw with Charles and George the week before. And we spoke about how it was I don't know how to feel about this. It's kind of exciting. There's lots of overtakes, but it's, I don't know, it's a bit weird because you kind of know what's happening at the same time.
Yep.
Now that we're 2 weeks in, how do we feel about it?
I feel more weird about it this week than last week. I feel a bit more comfortable with it. I don't know if it's because this is the first one I've watched live on the television, so I can see all of the battery charge and when they're using the boost and things like that. I don't know if it's because now I can see it all, whereas we couldn't see any of this shit at the track last week, right? So I don't know if that's the reason why I'm more uncomfortable with it this week, but yeah, it's just weird. It certainly isn't Formula One. It's not regular Formula One racing, but it's also just it is Formula One, so we kind of just have to put up with it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I know what you mean.
I don't like it, but also I'm not going to stop watching the sport.
Yes.
We had someone comment on a YouTube post we put out, a YouTube short, and they were like, this is fucking ridiculous. I'm not watching Formula One ever again. I'm not watching Formula One until they change these rules. And I was I just replied sick, well done.
Okay.
Go for it. Don't watch the sport that you have probably grown up watching and love. That's on you. I don't want to give up on Formula One that easily. And especially teams have spent millions of dollars developing these engines. I'm going to assume they'll come good at some point. I'm going to assume we'll figure this shit out.
Yeah, okay.
You know what I mean?
Yep, I'm with you.
And also, when the turbo hybrid came out, and DRS was quite new at that point as well. Still, everyone hated DRS. Everyone, the amount of old white men that were just going, I'm not going to watch this anymore. DRS is fake. This isn't real racing. Da 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 yada yada yada. And then when DRS got fucking binned for this year, all the same men or all the same people were going, why the fuck are we getting rid of DRS? It's the only good thing for the last 10 years. It's the same old with our sport, that when there is big changes, people love to jump on a bandwagon and hate on it and just give it shit instead of just going, you know what, let's just give this 6 months. Let's give this a year and see where we're at.
Okay.
Because I also think you just didn't fucking know who was going to be on that podium yesterday.
Yeah.
There was that many overtakes. You just didn't know who was going to get it right, who was going to get it wrong. I'd rather see them overtaking non-stop until the last... Okay, I know we didn't go to the last lap, but overtaking non-stop throughout the race, if it means there's unpredictability of who is going to be on the top step. I'd love it more if there was 8 drivers in the mix for it and we had more up there. But that's just give us time for the other teams to catch up and then we'll have it. I
mean, if McLaren ever get on the track, we might have 6.
Yeah, Oscar absolutely fucking dominating. 0% of all of the laps this year. Even the fucking safety car has done more laps than Oscar in 2026.
He did the sprint, didn't he?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, really?
No,
I thought he sprinted.
Did he not crash? I don't know, maybe. But Grand Prix wise.
Yeah.
He probably did the sprint. I'm probably wrong on that one. I can't remember. He sprinted. Go Gibbs.
In other news from the weekend, Cadillac crashed into each other.
Yeah.
What happened there?
It's just one of them. We see this a lot in China. We see it a lot. First lap, turn 1, 2, 3. We see this quite a lot.
See what? Teams crashing into each other? I feel like I don't normally see teams crashing into each other.
People crashing into each other. Right. We see a similar incident like what this one was.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there wasn't anything particularly unusual.
No, the unusual thing was that it was his teammate. I thought Checo would have potentially backed out, but I think at the point of him realizing he needed to back out, it was too late. I think Checo's issue there was he didn't realize there was an Aston Martin on the right-hand side of Bottas. So Checo was sending one down the inside thinking Bottas has got all this fucking space down the right-hand side. He'll move over for me. I'm his teammate. Right. And then at the point where it's literally right before he makes contact, you see the Aston Martin on Checo's screen, which means he may have seen him unless he's still looking to the left at the apex. And at that point is when they made contact and it was just too late. It was way too late for Checo to get out of it. It was just a very classic first lap crash in China.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, okay. I know what you're saying.
I do have a note here, though, on Cadillac that they just hum, but they kind of hum less than Aston Martin. They at least finished this week's race with both cars.
Yep.
So there's a positive.
That's true.
Yeah.
They got on the track, so they're better than McLaren.
Yep. One of the Williams.
Yep. They're doing something.
One of the Audis.
They're
Yeah.
there.
They're there. They're doing it. They're showing up. I would love to see more from them, especially having that Ferrari engine. It's obviously the best engine off the line and the second best engine in a straight line. So, I would love to see more from them because they have that good engine. But, we're also seeing teams like Williams fucking struggle with the best engine. So, I don't think engine is important, but you also need to get all the other shit right. And Cadillac certainly aren't doing that. Speaking of Williams,
Okay.
we got points. So I'm really happy about that. Like, I can kind of celebrate.
Okay.
But then we also just didn't start with one of our cars.
Yeah.
Yeah. So less good.
Yeah, not as good. So what, 2? You got 2 points?
2 points for P9. I was very scared at the end. Franco Colapinto looked very quick and was like, what? He was like 0.4 off of Carlos or 0.3 off of Carlos going over the line. Like, it was so close. That last lap out, it was squeaky bum time for Disc. You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying. I just wish you didn't say it like that.
Oh, it's fine. It's fine. Skin. People love it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I think the only saving grace for Williams this week was that we kind of went through our run plan from practice through to the race, and we kind of got better as the weekend went on, like through free practice, sprint qualifying, sprint race, and then main quali and through to the race. We got better. We built consistency. Raw speed is still not there, which is a massive shame, but we are going in the right direction. I do have to admit and hold my hands up, I was very wrong pre-season. The Williams are not going to win the championship this year.
You reckon?
And I couldn't have been more wrong because we're potentially going to finish in the bottom 3.
Yes.
However, and I'm trying to be optimistic, okay? 2027.
Okay.
Let me give you a not a prediction, but just a bit of proof in the pudding, right? 24, our car was overweight. It sucked. We had a great engine. The aero package was good, but it was just overweight. So it didn't matter how much we developed the car. It was overweight. It was a fat bitch, right? 2025. Hey, listen, it's fine. It's out there now. 2025, we came out the gates and it was, guys, we fixed the weight issue. Guess what? We did 75 hard over the summer. Car's no longer fat. Just a regular size bitch, right? Dominated in 2025. Got P5 with best of the rest out of the top 4 teams. Podiums, 2 podiums over the season, very consistent results. A lot of like top 6 finishes over the 25 season. 2026, we're fat again. Okay. 75 hard didn't go so well. The champagne was too sweet on them podiums. Okay. We got addicted to eating fast foods again. Right. The great people down at insert fast food joint here, they fed us too well.
Okay.
But it's fine. We've been through this in 24. We know how to lose weight. We know how hard 75 hard is. We are going to do it again. And by 2027, guess what? Light car again.
Okay.
So 2027, don't make a prediction, Dave.
Yes.
Yeah, don't make a prediction.
All right. I see the analogy. It does beg the question, like, if they know the car's heavier, why not just make it lighter?
Yes. It's a good question.
Like, where have they got a bunch more weight that other cars don't
It's
have?
most likely in the chassis, which is the hardest thing to lose weight on. Right. It's most likely there. If they are, I'm going to assume that they're buying the gearbox from Mercedes, which is what most customer teams do. It makes sense. They build the engine, they build a gearbox to go on the side of it. But if they've got any different cooling systems or anything like that, that could also hold quite a bit of weight. So it's things like that. Cooling systems, they could potentially develop and get rid of components to make it lighter throughout the season. But usually overweight cars, it's in the chassis, it's in the DNA of the car. And changing a chassis in the season is a very, very difficult thing to develop because you've got very small wind tunnel time, especially finishing P5 last year. We've got less than people in P6, 7, 8, 9, 10 in the championship. So do we want to use our wind tunnel time there, or do we want to use our wind tunnel time to develop things that are going to help for 2027? Because we know that that's where the weight needs to lose and we know how to lose it there. Does beg the question of why the fuck would we build a chassis that's overweight when we've already built a not overweight chassis in 25?
Had that problem and solved it in the past.
Yeah.
It's weird.
It is very weird. And I hope James is getting on top of it.
Yeah, okay. Another question. So Alex didn't start.
Yeah.
Was he one of the electrical faults, engine issues areas?
I think he was, like Ryan said in his hot lap recap, I think he was a unique one. I think he was a hydraulic issue. In a hydraulic failure of some sorts in the car, but I'm not 100% across it.
Okay, sure.
So I don't actually fully know why they didn't start. I just assumed it was electrical because we had electrical problems in Australia and then seeing the other cars, I thought, yes, it'll be an electrical one.
Okay.
So I'm not 100% across that one.
Yeah, well, my question was more around the electrical ones anyway, because there were a few people not starting or not finishing or whatever because of electrical issues with the car, right?
Yeah.
I guess the question is like, why would that be happening? So there's this change in regulations, which means that the engines this year are using a lot more of the battery as opposed to the other thing, ICE.
Yep. Nice. Holy shit. Can you learn from last week? Go
Thank
skiing.
you, Dave.
What does the
Look at me
ICE
go.
stand for?
That's an internal combustion engine, if ever I've heard
Fuck
one.
yeah, Skin.
Oh, yeah.
Look at that. Skin's not a fool. He's kind of still a fool, but it's
Yeah,
fine.
a little
We're
bit
getting there.
foolish. Anyways, getting better. So, yeah. So they've changed the regulations where you're using a lot more of the battery than the internal combustion engine.
Yep.
Why would the battery start failing? Just because of that? Like, surely they still know how to build batteries.
Yep.
Build a battery that can start.
Yes.
What's going wrong?
Yeah. It's not as simple as just chucking some double A's in the back of the control and it works. It's a little bit more complicated. And I think the main thing that people are facing issues with is because the battery output is so much bigger, the energy recovery system is so much bigger. It just means there's more. Like there's just more electrical sensors, electrical components in that engine or in that power unit. It also, we've got, now I always get these two mixed around. We kept the MGU-K.
Don't know.
Potentially. It may be the other way around. And we racked the MGU-H or vice versa. I can't remember which one we kept and got rid of. The thing we got rid of was the thing that kind of managed the power output. So now the power output isn't managed through that system. It's managed through a different system, which is more of a direct management, which is why they can get so much of a boost with their boost button because it's not managed or limited through this system anymore. So it's more of a direct output stream from the battery to the like motors on the tire, like the motors that are powered by the battery.
Sure.
So like because that system has gone, we've had that system since 2014, like the MGU-K, the MGU-H in partnership to give us battery power output. That has been in place for 11 years. So to go from that to something brand new just introduces gremlins because you've had to create something from scratch. Unlike Mercedes, who built the engine and have direct on the ground, like, management and integration from the power unit department into the car. Mercedes, Williams, teams like that, they don't have that, which could also potentially be a Cadillac. Why Cadillac are facing issues with their Ferrari engine or having electrical issues like they did in Australia. They don't have that direct input and that direct feedback from them. They buy the engine as a customer. They get the exact same engine. So if anyone's trying to start a conspiracy theory that Mercedes have given them a dud engine so they don't compete against them, bullshit. They get the exact same engine. It's heavily regulated. But it's how you install the engine is fully up to you. So you just get an engine in a box, basically. You have to install that into the car, program it properly, and do all of the other serious things. And I think that's where they're finding issues, is with the installation of this new engine.
Okay.
Which I want to throw a massive shout out to Alpine. I didn't even write this down, but holy fuck. Well done, Alpine. Not only were they quick, but they've gone from having a Renault engine. I was wrong with this one. I've said that they were going to be shit because I don't like Flavio. Very biased. They have not only brought in a new engine, which means they've got to change the entire rear structuring of how they build cars. The chassis will have to change. All of the rear engine covers and all that will be totally different to anything they've ever known because it's a different power unit to the old Renault power unit. They've done it at the same time as competing last year, and they're not having electrical issues or that many of them that is causing race, to not start or to not finish. And they're also really fucking fast. Like they looked so good yesterday in the race in comparison to the likes of Williams and Racing Bulls and teams like that they were clearly behind last year. So well done to Alpine.
Yeah.
Weapons.
Beautiful.
Go skiing.
Go do.
Do you have any more questions? I've got a little bit on Max I want to go through.
Sure, hit me.
So, is it just me, or is Max just becoming really fucking annoying this season?
Well, he hasn't annoyed me yet.
Okay,
so,
he's annoyed me a lot.
Okay, so maybe it's just you, or maybe I'm living under a rock. What's bothering you?
It's like every interview he does, it's just like, I like that he gives his honest opinion. I like when he's like, don't give a shit kind of attitude. But what I don't like is he's bagging on the cars and F1 now to a point where it's just like, mate, your complaining is doing you're actually damaging the sport now because you're feeding the fires of people, keyboard warriors that are just sat at home saying F1's fucked, like this is shit, like this, I'm not watching this anymore. Like Max is just feeding them. If he just went, you know what, this is what it is. I've got this car for this season. We'll see how we go into next season. I'm going to have behind the scenes conversations with the FIA and Formula One to give them my honest opinions about these engines and where I think they should go. But publicly facing, I'm gonna just talk about my race, put on a brave face and make some funny jokes. That's what I want from him. I don't want him to damage the sport, which is what I think, which is the territory which he's getting to at this point, and it is annoying me because I don't like it.
Okay.
And also, I will throw this one out there. If Red Bull had built or Ford had built a fucking weapon of an engine and they were dominating like Mercedes and Ferrari are, would he be complaining like this?
No, but I think that was the only defense I was going to offer him. Is I think he admits that he said George and Ferrari are pretty positive about the regulation changes, and of course you would be if you were going fast. So I think he recognises that.
But like,
at least.
But then if you're going to recognize that, put that recognition into practice and just go, yeah, we're not where we need to be right now, and other cars are. We need to do a better job. It's not the regulations about it. You've interpreted the rules and you've not built something, or your team have not built something that is good enough for these regulations, whereas Mercedes and Ferrari have. I think it's more of a magnifying glass that Red Bull have done a bad job, and Ford Red Bull powertrains have done a bad job over these regulations suck.
Mm-hmm.
Like the regulations could be mediocre at worst, or they probably are mediocre at worst. But like, it's damaging his brand, it's damaging the sport, and I'm just not a fan of that.
All right.
So fuck you.
Okay.
Max.
See, yeah, I was about to say that was surprisingly level-headed and reasonable of your disc, and throw that in there. Well done.
Yeah, but I love Max. So when he listens to this, he'll be like, "Oh, disc, you,
I'm sure
you silly sausage disco."
he is in the audience.
Oh yeah. Okay. Guru and Fool of the Week skin.
Sure.
What have you got for me?
I've got Lewis as the guru. Two
Hard
podiums.
to argue with, yeah.
2 podiums. He's back. It's exciting. I've heard so many good things about this man. I've never seen anything because I started watching the sport too late.
And I only say bad things about him.
And now I'm seeing some stuff. It's exciting. I'm happy. He's my guru. My fool is anyone at McLaren.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, hard to argue with.
Yeah.
Yeah, not the best weekend from them. Showed up and didn't do
Barely.
much. Yeah, barely. I went with Ollie Behrman for my guru. I think he had a fucking phenomenal race. P5 in a Haas. Insane. And I'm very excited for his season ahead and for his future in Formula One. I think he's showing, like, obviously him and Kimi went through F2 together, and I think he's showing that he deserves to be in a top team going for race wins just like Kimi is. And I hope he gets it soon.
Yeah. I don't disagree. He looks quick. It's cool seeing someone P5 in a house. It's like, whew.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%.
But what's likely to happen there? Because obviously Charles has plenty of time left in his career. I can't imagine Ferrari want to get rid of him. And then if Lewis continues doing really well this season, he's probably got a few years left as well, really.
Lewis has definitely got a few years left. It just depends on the motivation for Lewis. I think if he wins his 8th, will he go, all right, that's it. Yeah. Like I'm on paper the best. I beat Michael. I've got my 8th. I did it in a Ferrari. So he's done it in 3 different teams. I'm going to retire after that one. Or does he come back and try and go for the 9th?
Yeah.
Like, that's the big question mark, isn't it? Really, I think it's more on when Lewis is going to retire over when Charles is going to retire. Or if Ferrari start to favour Lewis and Charles gets sick of it, then does Charles leave? But I think he's Ferrari's poster boy, so that's less likely in my eyes.
So Ollie, like in that case, Ollie just has to keep biding his time, or like try
or do a Pierre Gasly and switch programs and leave the Ferrari program, go somewhere else where there's a better opportunity.
Yeah, okay.
Max could have 2 shit seasons and retire. A Red Bull seat could become available.
Yeah, okay.
Do you know what I mean? Just got to keep your eyes out.
Okay.
Fool of the week. I didn't want to go for McLaren and Aston because I think they were easy targets this week. I know opposite opinion to what I had last week, so I went for the easier options.
That's fine.
That's fine. I'm going to go to mirror my guru, Esteban Ocon, as my fool. He had that crash, which he admitted straight away was his fault. It was a very stupid move. I just think he was quite sloppy all weekend. When you see how good the Haas was looking, how good Ollie looks in the Haas. He didn't beat Ollie last year. Ollie was a rookie last year. I said it in Ollie's preseason episode, in Ocon's preseason episode. This is a very important season for him to prove that he deserves to be in F1. And so far, he's not proven it. So we're 2 races and a sprint in, but it's not looking good for Ocon. And I think this is the worst way he could have started this season. So fool of the week is Ocon. He needs to pull his bootlaces a bit tighter and get the foot on the throttle a bit harder. That's not a saying, but
Nah.
we're towards the end of the episode, so we can throw things out there now.
Sure, yeah. I mean, you haven't been throwing things out there all out.
No, I've been quite tame all
Yeah,
that.
you've been really tame.
Oh yeah, sure. We've got a little. Oh, Skin, we've got a jingle for this a little bit actually.
No way.
Yeah.
I don't know where you're going, and
Oh,
I
God.
don't know why, but this
To the fools.
Yeah, nice.
before.
See, what you've just seen there is
Panic.
a little bit of intellectual property theft to the second degree.
Third degree.
Third degree.
You guys stole it from someone else.
Yeah, no, that's why I thought. Yeah, so there was one round of theft, and then you've.
Oh yes.
From
Okay.
us.
I see what you've done there.
Yes.
That's smart. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Go Skin. But yeah, I saw that jingle from We Got the Chocolates. Skin.
Who stole it from? Whoever wrote the original song.
Yeah. Great people,
It's good
obviously.
stuff.
Yeah, it's good stuff. Anyway, we've got a little listen to the fools. We're going to try and do this more often. The website is launching this week. So if you go over to our website, go to the podcast page, you can send us an email or a SpeakPipe voice note and you'll be able to hear yourself on an episode potentially. But this week we did it through Instagram. So if you also want to get in touch, drop us a DM on there and we will potentially feature you. So this week we've both chosen one. You want to go with yours first, Skin?
Sure. First one comes from Jay, and he says, the race was super exciting, but also super annoying. This reliability issue reminds me of the first 2 years of the hybrid era. So many points lost to DNFs and DNSs. I hope they sort it out. First few years of the hybrid era. What was going on there?
Similar to this, like there was just a lot of people were struggling to get Renault, especially with their engines, they were struggling to get to grips with the turbo hybrid engines, and so there was a lot of just weird, exactly what we saw yesterday with weird people having to retire or not start the race because they just weren't up to date with it, which kind of feeds my point as well of let's just give this era time.
Yeah.
Let's just give it time to.
You can afford to be a bit optimistic.
Exactly.
The hybrid era became watchable.
The hybrid era became very watchable.
Yeah.
It was very good. 2021 to 2016 was good. 2018, 19 was good. It was some very, very good years during the turbo hybrid era. The next one comes through from Kelvin. Kelvin's a great bloke. I didn't realize this, but Kelvin is the guy at the We Got the Chocolates live show who had all of us sign his shirt.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that until the other day when he was like, oh, by the way, thanks for signing my shirt at the live show. And I was like, oh,
yeah,
go Kelvin.
Yeah, same Kelvin.
Yeah, did not realize that was his name. I mean, I had a full-on 10-minute conversation with him and didn't ask for his name, so that's on me.
Nice.
Kelvin said, I feel like one of the old guys that hated DRS when it was introduced and called it fake racing. This is exactly how I feel with these new regs. Kelvin, we've kind of already touched upon this. I really hope you give this time because just like DRS, it turned out to be a very good thing. And I'm kind of sad it's gone. I missed the within a second, oh, he's got DRS now. I miss that kind of energy that we would get. And I kind of wish we would have something like that with the Active Aero. Who knows in the future? But yeah, let's give it time. Stay optimistic, Kelvin. Hopefully it will come good or they just change the engines. But yeah, that's pretty much everything from China. What is coming up next, Skin? It is Japan. I'll answer it for you. That's my phone on the floor.
Shit.
Go disc. So Japan is coming up next. Suzuka, one of my favorite tracks. It's wonderful. My friend Shui's going to be out there. Shout out to Shui. He's a weapon. Him and his girlfriend are going to be sitting on the center, just after turn one, so we can see kind of exit at turn one center S's. There's no better spot on that track, in my opinion. Fucking amazing spot. So have a great weekend. But if you're not going to be there, what should you look out for when you're watching the race? Mercedes early season domination in 2026 so far. They've obviously been very good. I'm going to go out there and say Suzuka could win by a huge fucking margin at this race because we've got shorter straights, so their boost button and their power, their better power unit is really going to come into play here. I reckon we'll see them powering out of corners, especially in qualifying and things like that, way better than anyone. So expect a huge gap for Mercedes and potentially a boring race because of that. Again, let's stay optimistic. Midfield battles with the likes of Racing Bulls, Alpine, Haas, them kind of teams. I would throw Williams in there, but let's face it, it's not looking good. Hopefully they'll have some good racing, and hopefully McLaren make it to the grid and can try and challenge against Ferrari if Mercedes are just running away with it. Something obviously to look out for is, are we going to have any more of these DNSs? We've got a week off, so it's kind of 2 weeks to the next race. Hopefully people can start to fix some of these gremlins, and hopefully we don't see any of these DNSs with the new power units, but it's going to be, something to watch over the full season. So that's pretty much going to be a note on everything to look out for. And then lastly, Suzuka. That's good. Suzuka pushing the cars, tires, and drivers. It's a very demanding track. There's a lot of fast, weavy sections, like through the center X's. It's a lot of like left, right kind of thing. So with this new era of cars, if we have rain, which is quite common in Suzuka, or if we have changing wind conditions throughout qualifying or a race, we could see people struggling with just consistency. So yeah, watch out for that. And also Suzuka's quite difficult on tires. So potential two-stopper, again, especially if there's rain, we could have two-stopper. Well, that is all we've got time for, Skin. This week on the Formula Fools podcast. Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed the Chinese Grand Prix, or if you had any thoughts on any of the things we've spoken about, please just drop a comment below on Spotify or on YouTube. If you want to follow along, you can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. Just search Formula Fools. We're absolute weapons now, so we'll just come up as the first search result, I'm going to assume.
Oh yeah. You can also leave us a rating and review wherever you're listening, and make sure that you've clicked following or whatever the equivalent is on the platform that you're listening to the full length app as well. That'd be greatly appreciated.
Go Skin. And keep an eye out on Instagram for the website being launched. It will be this week. So get on that, and please make my analytics look good and all my effort worth it. Thank you for listening. We will see you next time for Japan. There might be an episode in between. We haven't figured that out yet. So we'll see you in Japan. You never know, Skin. Probably will be.
Okay.
See ya.